Howdy everybody in YouTube land. What we have in front of us today is a pair of Powerbook Lombard G3 machines. Now both of these work fine, as you can probably tell in this video. The issue is they're both in various states of disrepair, and I'm trying to make one good one. So upon first glance, you can kind of tell right away what we've got going on. So this one's got a lot more wear than this one does. But this one has a worn out keyboard, and this one has a much better conditioned keyboard. Also, the other problem is if you look at the LCD panels, that LCD panel is, the camera is compensating for it, but that one's far more worn out and stained, and it's also a lot more yellowed looking backlight, while that one is a little bit brighter, much more clear, and doesn't have the damage on it. But so that LCD is the one I want to keep. But also, the other issue is the hinges in this one are far more worn than those are. So I need those hinges, I need that LCD, and I need that keyboard, right? But the other problem is I figured, okay, well, the trackpad's a lot more worn out, and it's very hard to use compared to this one. This one's in far better shape and moves better. This one just kind of wants to jump all over the place. So the issue with this one is if I use the keyboard, it doesn't work. And I don't know why that is yet. The equal sign don't work. See, QWERTY, yeah, that all works. This air bracket here doesn't work. That one works. The main letter keys seem to be working. Yeah, that works. And then that works. The up arrow key work. Nope, the up arrow does not work. Left arrow works, right arrow doesn't. And then the, let's see, I think the down works. The down and left work, but the up and right do not. So we've got some issues with this keyboard. Now, let's see, this particular keyboard, what do we got going on here? This has got my hard drive in it, 111 gigabytes. See, this keyboard here is, let's see, let's check you out. Let's make sure you work. It does. So this keyboard seems to be working fine. Let's see, caps lock lights up and works. Caps lock does not light up on this one. So, all right. Also, I think, let's see, what kind of performance do we have in both of these machines here? So, let's see, close all you out. Yeah, this trackpad's shot. Okay, so this is a PowerPC G3 400 megahertz. This one is a PowerPC G3 333 with only 64 RAM. That one's got 192. Now, I think I stuck a memory module in that a long time ago. But if you look back here, you can kind of see what we got going on. That LCD is just had it. So I need that keyboard, but I got to fix it. Otherwise, I'm going to use this one. I need this trackpad, right? And I need that LCD, but I need those hinges. And the reason why I can't just say, well, why don't we use these plastics? Well, the problem is these plastics are busted up, where these are holding up. So I got to combine the two to make one good one. But at least they both run. So we have that at least. So let me shut all you down. Shut you down. Shut you down. Alright, so if we look up under this keyboard, we have this 160 gig hard drive that I just kind of shoved in there. I actually bought that hard drive new, and I've had it ever since. Let's see, we need you. So this is the 400 megahertz CPU card. This one is a 333 card with no RAM. So I definitely want that CPU card. I want that hard drive, but perhaps I don't want that big of a hard drive. So it's going to be a matter of, because I've got better places I can use a 160 gig hard drive. I'd rather put like a 20 gig or a 40 gig or something in there. The other thing I need to do is compare the systems and see if the PRAM battery's in there. If it is, it needs removed. Also, this is the original hard drive as well. But this one actually has the zip drive interface in it, where that one is just a standard old CD-ROM. And they're both missing the batteries. They're junk anyways. I still have the battery for this one, but it won't charge. So, yeah, that's what we're working with. And I think between these two, I want to make one good one. And then the other one I can probably get rid of for parts. Because I'm not going to need it. So, there we go. And I've only got 2 of those bricks that go with them. And those bricks are getting hard to find. So let's see, where do we start? Where do we start? Alright, so here's where we are. I decided to take apart the one that has the crappy LCD and the worn out trackpad. I decided to take that one apart first just to see what I'm dealing with. So, here's everything up here. Now, everything appears to be okay in condition wise. The motherboard's okay, all that stuff's okay. So I'm not really too concerned about that. So I'm looking at the bottom cover and everything appears to be okay there. So I might reuse this one. It depends on the condition versus my other one. But I think that's okay. And then this palm rest. So this particular palm rest, it's got a worn out trackpad, and because it's worn out, it doesn't respond very well. But the corner and stuff is intact. So I really want to use this one. So I went to go take it apart and flip it over, and guess what? The trackpad is permanently attached with all of these heat stakes and everything else. And this metal plate's got to be there because it's part of the structural rigidity of this palm rest that holds your wrists, right? So I can't like drill all these out and then, yeah, it's not gonna work very well. Maybe with some epoxy I can dab some in there and try to get it to hold. I don't know. The magnet itself is starting to disintegrate a little bit, so we have that going on. That's not that big of a deal, but yeah, that's our problem we have right now with this. And then of course this is a thing that holds it all down, and that's kind of like stuck in there, and yeah, it's a problem. So if I want to use this trackpad or use my better condition one, I'd have to drill all of these out and pop all these rivets. It's the same with this button because that button is fairly worn out as well. So it's like, what do I do? Decisions, decisions, decisions. I think what we're going to do is, I wanted to check everything, but I'm going to leave this motherboard with this case, with the exception of leaving that guy out. So we'll have that, and then I want to check these hinges and figure out why they're loose. So I just put this one back together for now, and I'm short one screw, so I think I put one extra in here that I shouldn't have, and I think I know right where I put it. I put it on that metal plate between it and the CPU. Anyways, so yeah, we'll just leave this for now, and I will come back to that in a minute. First, I want to get into here and find out why those hinges are loose, because there's something up here. Because if let's see here. See that? Something's up with that. I need to take this apart and find out if that's just wear in the hinges or what. Alright, so I got it popped apart, and it's not loose. It's just hinge wear. See that? None of these screws are loose or anything, so not much I can do about that. Dang, this has been turning out to be a pretty dismal video, hasn't it? Regardless, here's why I want to swap the guts from this screen over to that one. Is because look, Yeah. Now the hinge is not bound to this plastic, but still something happened here. So yeah, that's why I want to transfer this good screen into that other frame. So let's do that. Let's get this apart completely. All right. So in order to get the hinges out, you got to take the whole thing basically apart. But I got the hinges out, and one thing I'm noticing is it's a better design in the way that they're using the entire structural display as a support, unlike the earlier Powerbooks where it was all down here, if you remember. But there's also a caveat, and that's the design of these hinges themselves. They're actually not very good. They're very loose. But look at this. It literally just comes right off. And it's this little spline thing. It's just, and there's little chunks of metal that I've been cleaning out of that spline that goes in there, and you can kind of see how it's wallered out. So I wonder if I can tighten this up by like filling this with epoxy or something, but I don't know. The problem is this is kind of greasy, so I can't actually get in there that well. So I'm not entirely certain how I'm going to fix this. But what I can possibly do is I can jam this in here a different way at a different angle so I can hit a different set of splines. And they're actually pretty tight now. I can't. So I think if I jam it together in a different spot than where it was before, I'll gain a little more friction. But I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, I need to get the rear cover off the other one and move it over here, and then see if I can't fix these somehow. Alright, I got the screen back together, and now the plastics are more beat up on this particular one, but it's not cracked in the corner like the other one, so it's the lesser of two evils, I think. So anyways, that's back together. The hinges are screwed in now. Look, it's not loose anymore. See? All good. They're all tight now because I just rammed the splines in a different way. They will work themselves loose again eventually, but with the amount of times or how often I'm going to use it, it's pretty minimal that I'm going to have a problem. So that's back together. I think the next part is I want to put the 400 megahertz CPU card in this one. So we'll just put you back in here like so. So that way, there. 400 megahertz CPU card installed. Yeah, that one doesn't feel like it's, I don't know, maybe it's just the way this is designed. It feels like it's bulged up. It might be. Because that's not very... Yeah, I might have to play with this some more. But anyways, yeah. Let's get this thing back together. So I think this is the one I'm going to stick with. So I got it all put back together now. Now the trackpad on this one, unfortunately, is kind of worn out. Same with the button. But there's not a whole lot I can do. I'm just going to have to keep an eye out for a parts unit, because the trackpad and the plastics and all that stuff are not in the greatest of shape with either one of them. Yeah, that one's a little less worn out than this one, but they're still pretty worn out. But that one has a much more clicky button than this one. But the button is part of the front case, so there's not a whole lot I can do about it. So I'm just going to have to just be satisfied with this setup. I've been using it on and off a little bit, and it's actually working fairly well. I've got Discord Lite installed on here. I've got, interweb PPC, which seems to be abandoned as of July of 2023. There hasn't been any updates, and the repository has been set as archived. So that is unfortunate. I think the only functional fork of 10.4 Fox is finally said and done. But otherwise, everything seems to be working fine. And the one thing I like about this particular setup is this wireless MN720 adapter actually is compatible with the Apple Airport Extreme drivers. Because as soon as I put that card in, Yeah, I just had to reboot the system with the card installed, and now it's connected to my Wi-Fi. Yep, there it is. So we're all good there. Alright, that means I don't want to open up 10.4 Fox because it's going to take eons on a machine like this. But it seems like everything is working fine, luckily. Looks like I installed Office or something on this thing. Let's load up the radar image because it's about the only thing that's going to load on a machine like this. There we go. I got a friend of mine who's running a WeatherStar 4000 radar server. So, yeah, I can actually do that if I wanted to. It looks like Cincinnati's about to get hammered. But anyway, so... Alright, I think we're good. Now, this trackpad does not work properly the way I want it to. I wonder if there's a setting for that somewhere in here. I don't know. Alright, so one thing I've noticed with this particular machine is it keeps doing this when I first start up OS 9. And I think it's this particular machine itself and not, I don't know if it's something with this board or what, but it always does that. So let me get this zip drive installed. And see if it does that again. I don't think it will, but it always does that on first boot. I don't know why. And it did it with this drive too, with whatever the OS is installed on this drive. So it's this particular machine. I might have to swap the motherboard. I don't entirely know. But let's see. Alright, yeah, we actually might be getting somewhere. It always does that on first boot. I don't know why it does that. Alright, Mac OS formatted. Now, this is probably not Mac formatted anymore, but... Now, I think I need the iOmega tools installed, but I don't know. We're going to find out, though. Because I don't know if this drive is any good. It detected it. Well, it took it anyways. Oh yeah, there it is. It knows it's there. That's a problem. What's it doing? Good old Mac OS 9. Hello. I don't know. I don't know what you're doing. Oh, there it goes. It's being a little not happy. Well, it knows my card is installed in here, which I don't think there's an OS 9 driver for that particular card. At least I don't think so anyways. No. Well, looks like I do have the iOmega driver installed. So, yeah. Oh, there it is. There's the airport driver. Yeah. See? It works in OS 10, but not 9. That's what I remember anyway, so... Let's format it. Mac OS Standard. Initialize. There it is. So the zip drive is working. Now there's the iOmega tools down here. Let's see if there's any tools in here. Ugh. Yeah, it doesn't have the driver. The tools are installed, but the driver is not. How does that work? What? I'm confused. I'm cornfused. How does that work? Yeah, it probably needs a very specific driver, so that doesn't work. Anyways, yeah. So the zip drive is functional. I just can't run the iOmega tools because I wanted to do a long format and check the disk health and stuff like that. But yeah, this one's working fine. So I think we're just going to go ahead and conclude this particular machine, and we're going to put the other one back together. All right, here we go. Second one's put back together now. So this one, it's got a little bit better trackpad and button, but the keyboard's got issues. The screen's a little worn out, but otherwise it works fine. So you're probably asking, why did I do this? Well, I don't need two of these Lombards. So what I wanted to do was try to make the best one out of the two. And this one is going to be taken to the VCF East free pile probably here within the next weekend. See, this one's doing the same thing. So no, it's just must be this machine. Alright, well that's fine. So like I said, this thing's going to be taken to the VCF East show 2024 and dumped into the free pile, I think. But I have a funny feeling once I pack it up and take it to the show next weekend, it's not going to make it to the free pile. Someone's going to be like, oh my god, I want it. But that's fine. I'm giving it away. I'm going to get rid of it because I don't need two of them. So that machine's going, and I think I might have a couple other machines that are going. I'm not sure yet. I've got very little time to get ready for the show. So yeah. So anyways, this one seems to be working fine. Trackpad's in better shape. Although it does do that jumping around quite a bit. Not as much as the other one though. But anyways, yeah. But as you can tell, the screen is just, it's seen better days. I bet you could probably get a replacement screen for this and maybe another keyboard, or fix this keyboard, and you'd be alright. It would be a decent machine. But regardless, that's going to be someone else's problem. So this one's basically no frills. There's no drive in here. I got to look in my stash and see if I have a drive to put in here. Otherwise, I'm just going to leave it alone. And I don't have the battery for either one of these machines. So that's it, I think. So anyways, I think that's going to be it for this video. There's no DVD decoder not present. My other one has the same problem. So even though it's got a DVD drive, I can't actually do anything with it because I think you got to have a card that goes in here. So anyways, let's see. I think that's it for this one. There's a game that's installed on here, but I don't know what it's... I've never played this game. This feels like, I don't know. This feels like something... I have no idea how to play this game. I'm gonna get rid of it, yeah. Anyway, so that's it for this video. It's nothing really crazy, just an overview of a couple of Powerbook Lombards and make one good one out of two of them. No recapping or anything crazy like that. Just an easygoing little video. If you like this video, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe and all of that fun stuff. And if you have a comment, please feel free to leave one. And you can see this machine at VCF East in the free pile if you can make it there fast enough. Until next time, guys, thank you for watching.